Hello, welcome. Welcome, Caleb. Welcome, welcome. So we are going to just give 2 extra minutes for more of your colleagues to join, and then we'll kick off. But in the meantime, you can still introduce yourself and where you're joining from using the chat. And also, I see someone joining as iPhone. If that's the name you're using to join, if you can rename, you're able to rename yourself, so that would be sure who is joining with that name. Or you can send a chat to let me know your name and I'll rename. Thank you, Caleb. You're welcome. So would give a few more minutes or 1 more minute for more to join, and we'll start by introducing our presenter for today's session. All right, so I think it's good we start now. Please use the chat to introduce yourself and where you're joining from. You're all welcome. Welcome. Also, if you're joining with a name other than your name, I'm seeing iPhone. Please, you can rename so that we wouldn't have issues with attendance. And I would begin now. So welcome to today's webinar. Today's webinar is like the last webinar. So congratulations to every one of you as the last learning webinar for this academy. We started from week 1 and here we are in week 8. You've been amazing. So my name is Dr. Eugene, and today I'll be moderating this session. We have our presenter here with us and should be taking us on different questions we need to know, or we need to let our pitch presentation answer, and also answer all the questions we have in mind. What makes a pitch very important? What makes your pitch stand out? How do you draft your pitch? Any question you have at all regarding your pitch presentation, she's here for you. So please keep your questions. You can, put down your questions as the webinar is going on, so we have time to attend to all of them. So I'll be introducing our presenter now. If you were here on Tuesday, you must have heard from her and the amazing presentation she delivered. So we have Judith. Judith is a highly accomplished and versatile professional with a strong educational foundation and a wealth of certifications in various disciplines. She is a certified psychological counselor as Wellness System Solutions. She holds the designation of Certified Human Resource Business Partner with extensive experience in mediation, counseling, coaching, and the strategic implementation of HR initiatives. Ms. Kajo also excels in developing and refining HR procedures, coordinating recruitment efforts, fostering positive work environments, managing grievances processes, and crafting effective training programs, all while ensuring compliance with organizational regulations. Academic pursuits currently include a PhD in business administration with a focus on human resources, complementing her MBA in human resource management and multiple certifications in mediation, HR management, and psychological counseling. As a dedicated HR practitioner, Ms. Kajo is an active member of the Institute of Human Resource Management, IHRM, the Kenya Institute of Management, KIM, and an associate member of the Kenya Counseling and Psychological Association, KCPA. So Judith, CHRP, we are so glad to have you with us, and I would be handing it over to you to take it up from here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Success and Liz. I'm so happy to be here again, and I'm very much excited to have all participants here today, the 23 of them that we have onboarded, 26 actually, plus us. I just want to say that I'm looking forward to having this interactive session for us, the very last webinar that we are having for this academy this season. So I'm here for all of us to engage. And just as I mentioned the other time, it is a learning curve for both of us, I mean, for you and myself, so that we go and do or have a presentation that is worth the while. Otherwise, I'm very, very grateful for the invitation, and I'm ready to take it up. Thank you. I want just to go straight because of the time that we have, that we need to give much time to Q&A. So when just from our last lesson or our last webinar, we talked about what a pitch is, what you need to put in place for you to have a good pitch presentation or a pitch deck. Today, we just want to have a brief of what happens in a Q&A, in a pitch meeting, what you need to put in place so that you give the best, as just as we say that you need to stand out or outshine the rest, because the investors have so many people that usually present for them. So what is the objective? The objective of us having that kind of a pitch, as just we present to our potential investors or stakeholders what we have to offer in terms of our pitch or business idea. Next slide. So as we go into the pitch, we usually have possible questions. Remember that we said it must be an interactive session whereby you interact with the investors, they interact with you, because it's a learning curve. You learn from them, they learn from you. So what are the possible questions that you need to take in place? Take note of the structure of your pitch, and then figure out questions related to your product or your service or your project. Just have a research on what is this what are the questions that are likely to be asked in terms of what is my product, what is the service that I'm offering, about the project. What are the possible questions that the investor or the client or the stakeholder might ask? Next slide. So as you craft your responses, just be consistent, follow through, and also be clear and very, very, very brief in explaining. Remember, we say that you need to internalize, you need to be passionate about your pitch, your product, your service, or your program, I mean, your project that you are giving out. Be brief, be concise, and be very, very clear. So what happens when we have that? Then we are going to have an engaged conversation with the audience. Encourage them to ask questions, because you shouldn't just have a monologue whereby you are the one talking and presenting and doing that without getting engaged or connected to the audience. Encourage them to talk, encourage them to ask questions. Like, for instance, I want to give a very, very brief example on that. For example, when we were talking about organic farming, in that room, remember, we are having potential clients, we having potential partners, potential investors or stakeholders. In that room, for you to engage them, what are you going to do? You are seated there, you have only 5 minutes or 10 minutes to present, or a few minutes just to give out what you have. What are you going to do? For example, our organic farming, just be in the room and ask them, how many of us here have gone to the hospital? Just put up your hand. Then they put up their hand. Good. The next question. How many of you have been diagnosed, or there are people who are close to them been diagnosed, maybe be with obesity or something? Someone will put up their hand. Then the next one. How many of you have been told by the doctor to avoid such kind of foods? You know, after that, you can even ask another question. How many of you are willing to access these kinds of food to revert or avert whatever condition they have? You see, you are engaging them. You are just not being monotony or monologue, whereby you are the one talking. Engage them. They are going to ask you questions, and you're going also to ask them questions. As you do that, also, you're also making sure that everyone is alert in the room. So ensure that the environment is conducive. And just as I said the other day, no one has a monopoly of knowledge. You don't know it all. So you learn from them, they learn from you. And then be factual. Don't give misleading responses. If you have any response that you're not sure about, just tell them, I will respond to you at the end of this webinar, or at the end of this speech presentation, or a day after. Next slide, please. Okay, so the concerns that may emanate from the audience, what are you going to do about them? And you see, address them objectively. Don't be subjective, just be objective, broad-minded, and open-minded, so that you get clarity into them. You give them clarity, give them the responses when you're competent enough, because you have mastered your pitch, you have mastered your idea. So give them those solutions. And then action, as we said the other day, make a follow-up for concerns not addressed during the meeting. So when you tell them, I'll give you a feedback tomorrow, I'll give you a feedback after this webinar, and maybe you take their response, so their contact, so that you give out the feedback. Then ideation and execution, we said execution is better than ideation, because you can have an idea and sit on it the rest of your time. So when you have execution, then you are headed to the right direction. Next slide. So sample of Q&A, which format that you can have. I've talked about product and service. Give a story behind it, the uniqueness, your versatility plan, how you plan to grow, how you plan to make it versatile. What is that plan that you have? So questions around that, make sure that you have them and you internalize, and also have the facts with you for that. And how are you going to mitigate risk? Because in every business idea, or in every business environment, there are always risks. So how are you going to mitigate these risks? How are you going to address or manage the risks? Next. So market, we were talking about market yesterday, the day before yesterday, about the market size, market growth, and your projections. So what is the target? How big is it? What are the risks, of even competition and challenges? What trends do you have in that is going to influence your target market? And then your learning improvement plan. We talked about it being the other components of having a continuous learning process. So what is your learning improvement plan? What are you going to put in place? And then what is your PR, public relations strategy that you're going to put in place? Next. Then we talk about strategies. So how do you want to remain relevant in this marketplace? We said if you are not relevant, you're going to be kicked out, the way Compaq, Kodak, were kicked out of business. So what are the strategies that you're going to put in place? You need to have that. And then how do you retain and attract and retain loyalty? Some of us are too loyal to certain products or certain brands. So how are you going to make your brand to be to attract and even retain the loyalty to your brand? How are you going to do it? Then the plan of adaptability, how are you planning to adapt into that environment or that marketplace? The resilience, when things don't pan out the way you expect, or the economy crash, or something happens, what will you do? How are you going to bounce back into the market without having to go under? What are the frameworks that you have? Then business continuity plans. How do you, like in HR, we talk about succession plan. So in your business continuity plan, what do you have in place? When you talk of competition, who are your main competitors? We say that every business has a competition. So who are these main competitors that you have? So how long have they been in the market? You're coming in with your business idea and you have competitors who are there before you. So how long have they been there? What is your cutting edge? What is your competitive edge that you are going to be different from them? What is your unique forte? What is it that is so unique in your niche? Or which niche do you have that is going to make you look different in that marketplace? Then how do you do marketing that is unique to them? Next. Financials. Definitely in every business, even before you break even, before you start making, not really making profits, but you break even, the expenses and your income, they become equal. When do you break even? What point? What is your plan? How do you plan to surpass that so that you can achieve what we call bottom line? And then the revenue projections, 3 to 5 years, what are you going to do? Then who else are you trying to talk to about investing in your farm or trying to help you in your business idea? Next. So we have growth charts. The other day we were talking about visuals. How are you going to explain all this? Because everything has to be data driven. So what is the infographics that you have that is showing the growth that you have from where you are to where you are headed and even your projections? Next slide. The dream team that we talked about, how are you going to attract and maintain the talent in your business? How are you going to attract them? What are the perks that you're going to offer them that is going to make them attracted and be retained in that business or that CBO that you're beginning or you're starting up? So what is it that the team that is your dream team that and their expertise that is going to convince the investors that we have a dream team that is going to make this business grow? Then whatever they possess definitely will accelerate the business performance. And then how do you achieve team synergy? Synergy, bringing this strength, bringing this strength, combining the strength of the team members, then it's going to propel you to the next level. So one member, then two members are there, the three members, you're going to have the growth when you bring all of them together, when you synchronize all the strengths of the team members. Next. That one we have talked about expertise and their experience. The time that you have. So how many runway months do you have before you take off? Yes, we were talking about the organic farming. How many runway months are you going to have? How many runway steps? What are these steps that you have to go through or you have to put in place before you take off? Take off by making revenue or having the profits coming in. Next. And then feedback, very, very crucial. We talked about positive and negative feedback, which definitely help us to grow, whether it is positive or negative. So you get feedback from your peers, you even get feedback from the people in the room, the audience that you are addressing. And then so far, what is the feedback that you have received? We talked about reviews, where maybe you have a TikTok page or a TikTok page whereby you maybe advertise or market your products, what is the feedback that you received so far? You find many people sending their reviews. The product came, it was late, it came late, the product came, it was not the size, the way it was in the picture, the quality, you get the feedback. Once you get the feedback, you're going to improve on that product or that service. So what data do you have that will prove that? So the challenge that we have, youth in Africa and across the globe has succeeded in carving a suitable niche for themselves by being intentional and committed prime movers in transforming tides of development. As you're seated there, the 35 of us, are we prime movers? Are we a prime mover? If we are not, then we are starting now. Next slide, please. So Winston Churchill, all of us know who Winston Churchill is. He said that no crime is so great as daring to excel. Daring to excel in our community that is stigmatized or the community that is negative. If you are trying to excel, then you are breaking the norm. So that is a crime in quotes. So there is no crime which is so great as daring to excel. I think that's it. Thank you very much for, all right. Okay, success, oh, all right. Will it be possible? All right. Okay. All right, I think that is it for now. We can go into question success. I think you can help us do that.
Yeah, sure. So thank you so much, Judith, for that very explicit presentation. We have one question from Caleb, and please bring in your questions. You see, Judith was very snappy because she's just here for you to answer all the questions you have around pitch presentation. So we have a question from Caleb. He's asking, my question on the pitch, from what the presenter took us through on Tuesday, could she please highlight top 3 areas that are a must in the 3-minute recorded video, also clarifying on having a presentation within the video?
Okay, the 3 minutes video that you're expected to highlight, yeah. I mean, to present. All right. So yeah. Can I take one question, or you read 3, then I answer all of them? What do you think, success?
No, you can take this one.
Okay. All right. That is Caleb. Yeah, Caleb, if you remember last week, I mean, on Tuesday, I said when you have only 3 minutes, you can talk about one sentence in this sense, because if you have 3 minutes, you have to highlight areas of interest. You can talk about Caleb Organics for Caleb Organics for young and old to address disease-related or medical-related issues. So what comes out in that one sentence? Because if you give one sentence, maybe you take only 20 seconds to give that sentence. And then you highlight what is the problem? When you talk of Caleb organics is the solution. So when you talk of the problem, and then you give the solution. So what is the solution? Addressing medical-related illnesses or conditions. That is solution. And then the problem is the medical-related conditions is the problem. Then what next are you going to do? What is your target? Target here, let's take, for example, older people. Yes, in my society. So what has to come out in your pitch for the 3 minutes, I mean, the 3 minutes that you have to give the reason why. That means the problem that you are solving, because already you have identified a problem. After identifying this problem, what is the solution that you're going to offer? You see, what is it that you're going to offer to address this problem? And what is your target? because the target has to be there. And then the marketing. If you can mention marketing, you have to mention the marketing strategy. And finance, definitely the reason why you are pitching the presentation of the business idea, for you to get what we call resources. So, and partnerships. We said you need to think of the next meeting. So what is the next meeting? Partnerships. And because you're creating that relationship and connection. So the market area or the market strategy, the market size, and also the growth, you need to mention that. And finance, what you need, because you need that to be financed during the pitch. That is why you are asking for the resources. So in the 3 minutes, you can bring out those 5 areas very clearly: problem, solution, target, market, and finance. And definitely when you're talking about a problem, when you talk of Caleb Organics, Caleb cannot work by himself. So he has a dream team behind that. And definitely competition. As you mentioned the solution, you talk of maybe some organization, if you don't mention, because you don't need really to mention the organization's names. Maybe you say organization X has been providing this, supplying this kind of foodstuffs, but so many of the people who consume the foodstuffs are at risk of contracting or developing conditions that are going to be harmful to them. I hope I have answered even 70% of that. Because of the 3 minutes, you can highlight those 5 areas. But as you highlight, you remember to talk about your dream team. You also remember to talk about your competitors. Caleb, I hope you're answered.
Thank you so much. Caleb, you can use the chat to let us know if your question have been thoroughly answered by Judith. So I just want to add to that. We actually did give a presentation handout and rubric to guide them, because we understand that this might be the first time, and we hoped to make it more easier for them. So it's not so complex, because the handout really explains everything. So please don't be so worried if you're participating in the pitch coming up on the 3rd December. Don't be anxious. Just do what you can. I would say if you have a strong point, a strong idea, and you know how to put that, you use the tips that have been shared on Tuesday and today, I'm sure you'd come out successful. So be calm and everything would go really well. So we have one more question here. And the question is asking, when it comes to pitch presentation, what is most important? What do my investors want to hear from me?
Thank you. What's the name of the person who was asked? What is her name or his name?
No name, sorry, I was muted.
Okay, fine. It's still okay. What is the most important? We talked about a story, give your story. What is the story behind your business idea? That is the most important thing. What is the story behind your idea? What is it that you are trying to solve that is going to impact on the community? That is what the investor is all about. I mean, is so interested in. Remember, we talked about the three minds of an investor. I'm boarding, I'm not boarding, and I don't care. So the first 3 minutes that you have to tell a story. You can tell a story. We talked of pictorials or visuals. Use a picture to tell that story. I just carried this. I hope everyone is able to see this. Success, are you able to see it?
Yes, yes. I can.
Yes. So this one, I wish someone from the chat would even tell me what this one looks like, or what is it? What is it? Have you seen someone giving out the answer? Okay, Success,
yeah,
what
no
is
answers.
Success, what is this?
That looks like a building.
Yeah,
Femi says it's a house.
this is a house, this is a house. If you're bringing when you're going into that pitch presentation, just bring something that someone can remember, because when you talk, no one will remember. But when you have something that is so interesting, like you remember that student, or that college student, or that person who had a house. Do you remember? And when they remember the house, they remember what you are talking about, describing the house. So as you pitch, do something that is interesting. Don't just go there and talk and talk. Bring something. Just bring something tangible. And maybe as you pitch, you can even have some bookmark like this. This is like a bookmark, and you write the name. Let's use Caleb Organics. Just have a book. It's simple. It's cheap to. You can even do it yourself. You just have manila paper, and then you design Caleb Organics. As you're presenting, after that, give them. That's a story. When they go and look at it and put in their books, they can remember you. So what you need to do is to put a story out there for them to relate with what you are talking about. I hope the person who doesn't have that name on his question is answered. So that is the most
Yes.
important thing, giving your story. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. So we have a question from Samuel is saying he liked the presentation. Thank you, Samuel.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a question from Precious, but Precious is asking if she can still register for the pitch. Yes, Precious, you can still register for the pitch. The deadline was last week, Friday, and just wondering why you did not register, but I'll open the registration again today to end tomorrow at 5 p.m. EAT. If you want to register for the pitch, you can register, but not just registering. The submission ends Monday, that's the 25th, 5 p.m. EAT. So you would need to get your video ready by that time. So if this is something you can do, you have your idea, I'm opening the registration. So not just for Precious, but for everyone who missed the registration deadline and would want to register again. So you can register. All right, so we want to do something now. So what we're going to be doing is to play the videos, the pitch winning videos from last year. So we had the first and second and third position. We'll start from the third. It's a 3-minute video. So when we play this video, you ask your questions regarding the video as Judith does her analysis on the video and why she thinks that was a great presentation, or why that scholar did get that, clinch that third space or second position or first position. So Liz is going to be playing these videos, and once you just look at what happened last year, and now we are having extra tips on how to make ours stand out this year. So I think we are in very good hands. So that being said, I would stop, and then after watching the video, Judith, you give a brief analysis on that, and we can take questions from that video before moving to the next video. So this is Betty Nakiwala. So she presented from Uganda. She presented last year on her initiative, Sickle Free. She's from the NGO CBO, focus. Okay, over to you, Liz. Hi, Ahmed. I see your message. Yes, I also see the issue with the volume.
Audio.
Yeah. So I can't hear the speaker. I don't know if, Liz, if you can hear the speaker from your end. If not, let me try playing that same video from my end.
Please try on your end, success.
Okay, could you hear it from your end?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I hope it's not a technical issue. Let's see. Can you hear it now?
Not yet.
Oh, then I think this might be more like technical issue.
Entails a group of health workers with a common goal of preventing sickle cell.
How about now?
I've encountered
Wow, yeah.
quite a number of
Just add
children with
a
sickle
little
cell.
more of the volume, then we'll be good.
Hello there. I'm not sure what the
I think she actually did not speak so loudly, but
Okay.
let's see if I can make that volume higher.
the founder of Sickle Free, a community-based organization in Uganda, which entails a group of health workers with a common goal of preventing sickle cell. I've encountered quite a number of children with sickle cell, like Jacob, who at only 17 years has undergone 11 hospital admissions, 9 blood transfusions, and is 3 classes behind his age mates at school. With that said, did you know that with measures like screening people for the sickle cell gene and advising them on the choice of partners, we can 100% prevent sickle cell? Yes, 100%. But 20,000 children are diagnosed with sickle cell in Uganda, even with this scientific knowledge. Why? The main problem is the ignorance of Ugandans regarding the sickle cell disease and how it's prevented. Also, the limited resources of screening in the country. However, not all hope is lost because with Sickle Free, we can prevent sickle cell through sensitization of communities, providing screening services, providing counseling services to those found with a risk of the disease. Our annual plan is screening 1,000 people, 4 districts from sickle cell endemic regions of the country will be sensitized annually. 12 general mass education sessions will be held via radio stations. That is a session per month. Our mission is to steadily reduce the annual number of children affected by sickle cell in order to create sickle cell free communities. Our goals are to reduce the annual number of children diagnosed with sickle cell to at least half the number by the year 2030 and to promote thorough sickle cell awareness in Uganda. Our strength lies in not only the very skillfully trained team members, but also in the passion we share as a team towards achieving our mission. Expected challenges are the high screening costs, and we plan to overcome this by partnering with screening laboratories for subsidized fees. Finances a total of 4,000 US dollars annually, and we plan to get this through grants, donor advised funds, fundraising ventures, and community contributions. When you think sickle free, think hope. Think you and I ensuring that 20,000 children like Jacob have their stories rewritten annually. And yes, think rewritten, sickle cell free.
Okay. So that
Wow.
was Betty. We actually had an issue with Betty last year with her
Yes.
audio. I had to boost the audio from my end
Yes.
so the judges could hear her. So I hope we're able to hear a little from her so we can talk on that before we move to the next one.
Yes, thank you very much, Success, for that. Very, very interesting. Learning points from Betty's presentation. One thing I want to tell us is that people love passionate people. People love passionate people. Even before you brought the voice, I mean the audio, I could see from her body language how passionate she was in this whole presentation. So if you're passionate, I talked about passionate, be passionate. You know, already she's giving a story about Jacob, the story that we have talked about. Give the story. You know, this person has been, I don't know, in hospital 11 times. You see, it is touching. It is going to connect to, they're going to, the investors are going to connect to your story. Give a story. You know, a story will catch that. And then she also talked about data. You have to bring the data because numbers don't lie. When you are having a presentation that is based on data, she talks about how many children have been diagnosed with this disease and how many children are affected annually. Annually, you know, time. We talked about time. So what is she going to do? She has a plan of 2030. 2030 by reducing this in the children through training, advice, you know, and counseling, and then the resources that she needs, they have specified. So you have also to specify the amount of money that you need or the resources that you need to help them be sickle cell free, and the goals. Actually, whatever caught me so much is the passion and the plan, how the story of that Jacob and other children who are suffering from the same, and how they want to eliminate this problem that is affecting the whole community. Because she talks about this affecting children in like the whole community, and everyone is so concerned about it. And she's also not doing it for the children, she's also doing it for the parents. That is why there's an awareness, that is the sensitization that is also rolled out to give awareness so that they are encouraged to go for screening, they are encouraged to seek counseling, they are encouraged to forget about, I mean, to remove the ignorance, because she talks of ignorance. So her venture is to help the community by schooling or making these people learn out of their, remove their ignorance and learn that sickle cell can be done away with 100%. Yeah, that's my take for Betty. That was good. That was my take home. Success, you are muted. You're
Oh,
muted.
sorry. I'm trying to open the chat to see what we have. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Elijah, for putting your name down there. So let's move to the next one. This one is more audible. So it's
Okay.
going to be easier for us to, view that one.
And
So let me
Success, maybe what I also, you know how she was dressed, you know, and she even had the medical. Yeah, that was a catch. Yeah. So if you're doing something like farming, dress the way it should. And even the props that you're using, use relevant props. Like the ones that I was talking about. Use relevant props. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So let me share this. This is from Ibrahim Mohammed.
Okay.
And he's talking on. So can we all see the screen, like the bigger screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. He's talking on Mabroni Farms, Ibrahim Mohammed from Ghana. So I'm going to speak now.
Hello everyone, my name is Ibrahim Mohammed, a WMI graduate scholar from Ghana. I'm excited to introduce to you Mabroni Farms, a poultry venture with a difference spearheaded by two like-minded individuals. We are addressing food insecurity and improving the income of local farmers through access to improved poultry breeds. Our target customers are food businesses, wholesalers, and small businesses. We are providing a direct and short supply chain, saving customers time and money on sourcing, and we offer competitive pricing without compromising on quality. What sets us apart is our commitment to sustainability and ensuring a reliable supply of high-quality poultry products. We are on a mission to nourish our community with affordable, locally produced poultry products while empowering local farmers through sustainable and ethical poultry production training. Our goal is to make a sale of 1,600 birds within the first year of operation. Our strength lies in our ability to establish strong ties with local communities through outreach to secure customer loyalty. We are constrained by our initial capital impacting the pace of growth. We are establishing partnership and collaboration with businesses as an opportunity to expand our market reach and create a win-win alliance. There is risk associated with poultry diseases that could lead to production disruption, and we are implementing a strict biosecurity measures to prevent disease outbreak and contingency plan established as a mitigating measure. Our total budget for 1 year is $1,799.42. Feed cost, operational expenses, and labor stipends are our monthly recurring expenses. Our source of funds include personal savings, family support, and grant from WMI. Our human resource position for 1 year is the Deputy Farm Manager and Marketing and Sales Coordinator. They are recruited for their passion and belief in Mabroni Farm's vision. Stipends will be provided as a token of appreciation. Our visual brand will be characterized by green and black color that represents authenticity and growth. We aim to project an image of reliability, quality, and relentless innovation. We will measure monthly sales revenue, operational expenses as our two key metrics that will be recorded on daily basis. Our target is to achieve a break-even point within the first 12 months of operation. Mabroni Farm is just not a poultry business. It is a narrative of passion, sustainability, and community development. Support us with $1,000 to make this promise a reality. Thank you.
So that's it from Ibrahim.
Wow.
It was
Thank
really
you.
serious.
Thank you very much. Ibrahim Mohammed. Yeah, he was addressing, before I even go to what he was addressing, he was very rigid in terms of his posture. And, make it spicy, make it look a bit entertaining, because it was so rigid, try and make it a bit spicy. You could see Betty giving different facial expressions. So don't just be rigid, give different facial expressions. We are talking about passion. People love passionate people. So if you're passionate about it, you'll even be smiling at times. You just don't give stone face like that. But he did good because he was very audible. He was very, very audible. What is the problem that is solving? Food insecurity. The problem has to come out. He was solving food insecurity. That is the problem that he is addressing. And he has a solution by having this project ongoing. He has targets that he has also mentioned. The target, you have to mention that. Then the goal, we talked about data. There is no narrative that has without data that can be convincing. So he had data in his presentation. The strengths, he brought it out, the strength of that farm. What happens? They are collaborating with the locals. If you're collaborating with the locals, you have good partnerships and collaboration with them. That is a big strength that I also had from him mention. And then also partnerships whereby what he does with marketing. The risk, we talked about risk and mitigation as we were looking at the slides earlier on. You have to address those risks by giving your mitigation measures that you're going to use. He talked about the budget, which is annually. Annually, definitely, we are talking about 12 months. So you have to give a specific period for the budget. Source of funds, he has mentioned grant, savings, family support and all that. He has also talked about that. And then how are you going to spend the money? The monies that you're having, how are you spending in terms of your dream team? He has said that their dream team is not on salary, but on stipend. So if you have stipends, please note that. Then brand colors. He has talked about brand colors and also has given the meaning. So as you are looking for the props, if you have a prop like this one, what is red standing for? If you have a prop like this, what is blue, this navy blue stand for? What is white standing for? So if you're using a prop is a support of your story. If you're using any prop, please try and do what? And explain the colors. And then I liked something that he talked about as he was finishing, that this whole thing is about a narrative of passion. Passion comes out and stands out. What is this narrative? What is the story behind it that you're so passionate about, that you are solving this problem? Thank you very much. Success, I think that is what I gathered from Ibrahim Mohammed.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, ma'am. Ibrahim was quite rigid, and but what made him gain points was that he touched every area that was required, and he spoke about everything. So that was the point that he garnered. But as for Betty, I think Betty got in because she was really passionate. All the judges that listened to her, they really spoke really well about that passion that they saw in what she was doing. And I think that's one thing that makes NGO, CBO, pitches stand out. For business, you're talking revenue, but for non-profits, it's not about the revenue. It's more of the passion, the good work you want to do. So you'd want to show that as much as you can. Use props like Judith have mentioned, visuals, things that are going to stick with them. You can put a photo beside this, like on the screen of your presentation, so people can understand what you are talking about. So thank you very much. I will be playing the last one.
Okay.
We talked about Ibrahim being rigid. I think Francis' video was also quite rigid, but we're going to play it anyway. Let me get that. So would hear from Francis. So I hope we are learning, and we can also put our questions in the chat. What have you gleaned from these? Are you a bit are you seeing something different than what you thought you'd see? Maybe this is not exactly what you're expecting the pitch to look like. You have questions from the presentation handout. Any questions at all, please feel free to ask, and we'll be glad to respond to you. Okay, can we see the screen, like the full screen with Francis?
Yes.
Okay.
Francis, I'm Ugandan. My name is Wanyana Francis. I'm Ugandan, a pre-intern doctor, my graduate scholar 2023, a member of the Makerere University Business School Entrepreneurship Center, passionate about humanity and entrepreneurship. I'm glad to present my business, Tumewaza Foods, which is a food processing company that transforms fresh fruits into dried fruit snacks to allow a healthier choice of snacking among adults and children in a food industry monopolized by high energy and fatty food snacks in an effort to prevent non-communicable diseases, short form NCDs, and their burdens, in addition to improvement of livelihoods in the community. NCDs, which include diabetes, hypertension, cancer, stroke, heart disease, are a huge burden in my community, country, and whole world, accounting for 1 in 3 deaths in Uganda and 7 in 10 deaths globally. We intend to use locally available fruits to produce dried snacks such as mangoes, pineapples, jackfruit, yellow bananas, using state-of-art processing methods. Our target customers are children and adults, reaching them through retailing outlets such as supermarkets, restaurants, and online platforms. We shall also form collaborations with NCD rehabilitation centers such as hospitals, hospital NCD clinics, gyms, to promote a culture of consuming our products, which are low-calorie snacks. We are different from others in a way that we aim at creating a positive impact on community health and local economic development. Our mission is production and promotion of of consumption of healthy dried fruit snacks among adults and children in a food industry monopolized by high calorie and fatty snacks that promote obesity, the basis of NCDs and improvement of the livelihoods of fruit growers in my community and country. Our goals are to create awareness and receive feedback about our products on the market, to provide market to fruit growers, to create employment opportunities, and to generate a profit that can sustain the company's expenses and increase production in 1 year. Our strengths are a passionate and knowledgeable operator about health, general well-being of people and business, together with the availability of raw materials in the community. The weaknesses are being a new startup company and limited capital. Opportunities are there being few dried fruit production companies in the country and none in my community. There is product innovation potential and we can leverage on the current trend towards healthier lifestyles. The threats are monopolization of the food industry by high energy and fatty snacks, and we can overcome this by intense sensitization of our population on the health benefits of our products. Our total year one startup cost is $1,621.6 US, and the recurring expenses, cost of goods sold, which are employee wages and utilities. The sources of startup funding are my personal savings, Luella General Hospital, I'm currently volunteering, potential pitch presentation prize, and WMI community development grant. I'm committed to volunteer with a friend who doubles as a business statistician and monitoring and evaluation technical person to support the startup in the first year, in addition to working with the core implementing personnel who I will pay monthly salary. The visual branding will be set by enticing imagery of fresh fruits, and the image to project to our world is delicious, tasty snacks and health preserved all in one. Monitoring and evaluation will be done by record keeping and analysis of sales receipts, cost of operations, jobs created, and farmers supported with an aim to generate a profit that can sustain the company's expenses and increase production in 1 year.
Awesome. That was speedy. Over to you, Judith.
Wow. Thank you very much. Francis, at some point when he started, he was rigid, but he started smiling. And that smile, even me caught me smiling again. So it is good to try and make it very interesting by maybe smiling the way he did. The only thing that I want to say, he was just static. You can move your body a bit. Don't just be static like this. You can move, just move your body a bit so that we can relate. If you're so static, the judges will be like, why is he so static? Why is not even moving? So as you smile, just move a bit, which is okay. I want to say that Francis, in the 3 minutes, he has done so much. He has talked about the problem that is facing the adults and children and adults, which is also his target group. And then he has also talked about the solution that he's offering and where he's sourcing, because we talked about collaboration. So collaboration that is having is with the community, the local community. That is why he's even sourcing for the local fruits from the community. And he talked about the differentiation that is the company or their organization is from the others. So you have to bring out what is your unique forte, or what is that uniqueness that you have compared to the others? What is it that is giving you competitive edge against others? So that one, he brought out the differentiation very well. And then he also talked about their goals. What is the goal of that pitch that you're presenting? Market, he talked about his market area and the growth. He did the SWOT analysis, he did the SWOT analysis, which was also a good thing. He gave out, at times when you're doing SWOT analysis, some people try to avoid the weakness. It is very good because you have to mention the weakness, just as we said, talked about the feedback. You get positive and negative feedback, they both help you to grow. So the SWOT analysis, don't leave the weakness part. When you're doing the strength, do the strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and also the threats. Then you also mentioned the sources of fund, which of course is very key. What is the source of funds that you need? What are you doing? What do you have already in place and what is the portion that you need? I think it was Ibrahim who mentioned they need $1,000. And with him, I don't know, maybe it passed me, but you need also to quote, just as the way we said the other day, action plan. What is your action plan? You need to give the exact amount that you are really sourcing for from the investors. He mentioned something very catchy again in his presentation, that there are some aspect of volunteering, whenever you talk about volunteering, someone will want to listen more. Why are you volunteering? What are the services that you're volunteering? And then you also mentioned M&E about how he's going to do the monitoring and evaluation of the whole project. I think he mentioned, he touched on like every single aspect of a pitch in the 3 minutes. Yeah, not bad. Very, very good.
Thank you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Judith. So we have Glory saying that was too fast. It's will I say it was a speed pitch? It was literally just very fast. But he did touch all the points, which was good. But that would mean that for us who are watching and we are saying that, oh, this was a bit too fast, he was not as relaxed, then when you're doing yours, you can then put in those elements of passion like Judith have mentioned, that those smile, let them feel it. And I just noticed something when he was talking about the SWOT analysis. He was saying our strengths are our weaknesses, are our, you really don't have to mention it that way. I feel you could talk about your strengths and just make it a sentence so you wouldn't have to be rushing, because I feel he was rushing for time. He didn't want it to be more than 3 minutes, so he was just very, very speedy. But all good. It was a great presentation. And yes, can we ask questions from Ahmed? Can we ask questions as the pitch videos are playing through during the session? You mean like during the pitch events? During the pitch events, no, not exactly. There will be no questions asked during the videos, but after the pitch videos, if you have any questions, you can ask, and then the scholars, your colleagues who did present the pitch that you have questions for, would be live to answer them. So that would be something that would happen on December 3rd. So I would send this playlist, yes, Chika, I'll send it to the WhatsApp group so that everyone would have access to it. And because this is the last session, and we are really glad to have you, Judith, to wrap this, academy learning sessions for us. Would like to get a few words from you to encourage the scholars, as they move forward with their initiative before we call it a day.
Thank you very much, Success and Liz, for hosting me, and all the participants. It's very, very uplifting to see how you are really excited about the pitch and about presenting your ideas. I just want to encourage you that you are on the right track, and what you have been taken through is massive. And even the videos, thank you for even bringing up those videos, because those ones we call them the drills. They're drilling us to make us hone our skills and also make us be better. I just want to encourage us to stand out by doing different things. When you do different things in your pitch, because pitches are presented every single day. So what is it that is going to make you stand out in the marketplace? Because if you stand out in the marketplace, no one is going to kick you out of the market. And be agile. I like that, because when you're agile, you are one person who can pick something very, very quickly and move with it. So run with it, run with that vision by being agile. When you're doing your props, just like example that I gave, that you can do Caleb Ganix, you can put a QR code on that so that they can get signups. So if you do that, you can get more marketing. I mean, you're going to be put out there. When you show up with that, then it's going to help you expand your clientele. And as you go in there, the 3 minutes, how I wish you summarize, not really having all the points, summarize into points like we are leaning so much on Betty's presentation. So just summarize so that you're not, your point does not come out, your passion does not come out. When you summarize, your passion comes out. But if you don't summarize, your passion will not come out. And it's all about passion. And if you are doing the business the way we have mentioned, let the investors know that you are out to have a bottom line or the profits, so that they are going to invest where there is progress and where there is growth. I thank you so much for having me. And I wish you all the very best, those who are going in on the 3rd. And I know we shall be back to watch the videos of those who did very well. Thank you very much, Success, for having me.
Thank you very much, Judith. It's such a pleasure to have you on board. And I'm sure the scholars have really learned a lot. And most of all, one major takeaway for me personally is that just be agile and be passionate about what you're doing. Be passionate about what you're saying. And I'm sure every other person did take either this or something else, home today. Thank you very much. It's such a pleasure to have you with us. And
Thank
it's such a
you.
pleasure to have you round up this amazing academy for this year for us as well. Thank you very, very much.
You're
All
welcome.
right.
Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome.
So,
Thank you very much.
thank you. Thank you so much. So that would be it. I would send the link to the pitch.
One more thing I forgot to mention. In as much as I've finished my presentation, you can still reach out to me in case of anything that you need clarity. You can still reach out. I don't mind. Success if it is in the confines of the law of WMI.
Yes, it is. Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Your
fine.
contacts are on the slides. Please, if you want to reach out to Judith for any questions or
Yeah,
guidance, you can
yes,
ask.
yeah.
That's very nice. Thank you very much, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay.
Okay.
You're welcome. I'll send the link for the pitch registration, and then we would, move on to the next week. Next week is not it's a free week in the sense that you wouldn't be having any webinars, but for those who have pitches to submit, it's for Monday, the 25th of November, and then you can have that 1 week rest before the pitch presentation competition. Everyone is expected to attend, whether you're presenting a pitch or not, because your presence can, we have something called the popular voting, and you have a chance to vote for who you thought presented the best pitch if you attend that session. So please be there as well. Thank you all. It's such a pleasure having to have this session with you all. Have a good day and bye everyone.